Hi there, my name is Pascal Piaget, and I am pursuing art in communication with business concentration. And I'm going to discuss the findings about the stories that I read and one video that I watched in this project. So I'm going to start by a story that happened in Texas, and has a title that says "Vicious Assault Shakes Texas Town." This is a newsletter from uh, the New York Times, and it was reported by one of the journalists from the New York Times agency. So in this story, I want to evaluate it and find out whether it passes the IMVAIN test. First of all, I'm going to go criterion by criterion of a credible story. This story, when we look at whether the author is self-interest or independent, the author of this story is independent. He's just reporting for the New York Times, and he has no interest in this story so that he can tell lies. Another thing, this story, the author involved multiple sources. Like he interviewed different people. We can say, for example, Shayla Harrison, who is a hospital worker, and you can also say Stacy Gatlin, who is a spokeswoman for Cleveland Independent School District, which is the school in which the raped girl studied. Um, this story, I would also say that it's telling the truth. It verifies because it includes different evidences, like different people supporting the story. And I would also say that people who were interviewed in this story, they are relevant. I mean, they are they are connected to the story. Like the woman, the spokeswoman for Cleveland Independent School District, she's the one to know more about the raped girl because that girl studied in this school. Um, Uh, I would also say that this story includes named sources. I mean, people who were interviewed, we know their names, know who are they. Like we don't find something like somebody did this much. We know that somebody. Yeah. Another thing, I would say, uh, I would conclude that this story is credible and it really passes the IMVAIN test because uh, looking at every criteria, the information said is true. It verifies. Uh, we have multiple sources, and like that, I would conclude that this story is passes the IMVAIN test. The second story is a video, and the video by the Walmart stores, and the title is Walmart announces Great for You food labeling initiative. So this story is by the Walmart report, and I would say that this story, the people that it involved are interested. I mean, they have a connection with this company that is advertising. Both of them, they are employees of this Walmart Stores Inc. And those are respectively um, Andrea Thomas and Phil Kinney. I would also say that the information comes from one source because even though we see two people featured in the video, but they all work from the Walmart, to mean that this information is by only this company. I mean, it's this one source of information. I wouldn't say that this story verifies because I don't easily trust people, like people who are in business. If all of these are employed by the Walmart, I think they cannot say a word wrong about this company. So I don't believe that it's true. There should be some exaggerations. But on the other hand, people who are featured in this story, they are informed. I mean, because they are just people who work for the Walmart, they know much information about these new offers, this new revenue initiative. They know much about it. They're great for you. So to mean that, I would say that the sources are informed. I would also say that sources are named because we know the names of these people who were featured in the video. So this story honestly doesn't pass the IMVAIN test because it doesn't verify, like, we don't have a proof that this information is true. We suspect some exaggeration of the people because they work for this company. And I would say that it doesn't pass the test. Lastly, we are going to read another story. We are going to discuss about a story by the New York Times. The title is "The Grief and the Protest for the Shooting of a Teenager." This story, the author has also no interest in telling lies about what happened or misinterpreting the information because he's just a journalist reporting for the New York Times. Another thing, different people were interviewed. This story holds information from multiple sources. For instance, we heard from Michael Brown's mother, the guy who was shot. We also heard from the mayor of this district, and also the police department of this district. Also, the information is true. It's true because of the people who were featured in the story. I mean, the author quoted important people, trustworthy people. I mean, Michael Brown's mother maybe can mix what she says with emotions, but the police department has to tell the truth. Like they are that trust source of information, you can say. Also, the mayor has to do the same thing. Uh, so people who were interviewed or who were featured in the story, they are informed because Michael Brown's mother, he knows, she knows more about his son who were shot. Another thing, the police department knows the information because they are investigating. That's one thing, and again because it's a police officer that shot Michael Brown, so they know also much information about the situation. Also, I think the mayor receives reports of what happens in the district that he leads. So to mean that, uh, we can also say that um, the mayor also knows, he's informed. He knows much about the scenario. Um, the sources are named because we know the mayor, we know the, the police, we know Michael's Brown, to mean they are no anonymous source of information. So I think this story also passes the IMVAIN test because the information in the story verifies. It really verifies, and it includes multiple sources and evidences. So this story is credible and it really passes the IMVAIN test. So thank you for following. Thank you for your attention. Uh, have a good day.